Hello and welcome to your 9th Java programming tutorial. In this programming tutorial, as promised, I will be going over constructors. I will also be going over class variables. This is not the proper name for them, it's just what I call them. So, what a constructor is, well actually I'm going to go over class variables first. In a class, you can have variables outside of your methods. So, if you have a variable inside a method, it can only be used inside that method. But if you have a variable outside methods, it can be used in any of your methods. By the way, I find don't understand. It's very complicated if you do this in your main class. I prefer to only do it in my other classes. So, when making variables in your other classes, they can either be public or they can be private. So what a public variable is a variable that you can access in your methods, but you can also do stuff to it in your main program. What a private variable is like you can only use your methods to edit it. You can't actually edit it without using your methods. So I can't actually change it without going through a method that, say, is called change variable. So, I'm going to make a private integer, and I'm going to call it Henry, and I'm going to set it equal to 10. And now I'm going to make a private integer called Henry. I'm not even going to set it equal to anything. So, what I want this program to do is I want it to ask you for your name, and then I want it to have you enter your age, and then it will say you are 10 years old. But instead of just saying, or you are whatever your age is, years old. But I want it to use two classes. So the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to have an integer called Henry. Actually, I'm going to call it age. And I'm going to make a constructor now. A constructor is basically a method that gets run when you first make your object. So how a constructor works is you type public and then the name of your class. Since mine is called second class, that's what I put there. You do the same thing right here. You don't need a void or an integer or anything. So here, what you type in here is if you want them to enter in a variable when creating this. So for us, we want this private variable called age for us in this class. We want it to be set to a number when you make this class. We don't want a class that doesn't have an age. So when you make this class, you need to enter an integer, and we'll call that integer a. And then we're going to set the variable for this class, age, equal to the integer a that they passed in here. Now, that is the basics of constructors. A constructor is something that gets run when you start the class. So now all we need to do is finish up the program. Here we're going to say, Control Z. Sorry about that. You are, and then we're going to add age. And we're going to add this space years old. So now when we run this, it's going to use your age, and it is going to say you are 6 years old or you are 12 years old. So now back in the main. So here's something cool. If you import java.util.all, it imports java.util.scanner and java.util.random, which we will learn soon, maybe the next tutorial, I don't know yet. And it will allow you to do stuff that you wouldn't normally be able to do. So as you can see now, we're getting an error here. And that's because it wants us to type something in when we, there needs to be an integer in here. If I typed in 6, it would go away. But we want them to enter it in. So we type scanner input equals new scanner system.in right there. Now what we need to do is we need to have a variable. So that, because we need a variable to store this data. So we're going to have an int h equals input dot next int right there. Right there. And now we need to enter this in. So we're going to enter this variable h in. So h. And since h is an integer and this needs an integer, it all works out great. So now we're going to run this, and yep, you need to compile it, and right here it will say, oh yeah, it's asking for something. So suppose we want to say its age is 19. Then it says you are 19 years old. That is because, I'll walk you through it. So we make this object. We use it to have the variable h equal 19. Then we have second class Henry equals new second class h, which is basically creating this object, and what it's also doing is it's making h turn into variable a, and then a turns into variable age, right? So then what happens is then we run the method hello. See, henry.hello. And what that does is it prints out you are, and then it adds the age, which is 19, plus years old, which ends up typing this out. And that is the basics of constructors. It can do more than that. You could also have it, if you wanted, you could put this in here and just delete this hello class, this hello method, and then this wouldn't work, but the scanner would automatically print it out for you. So you'd run it, and you type in 19, and you would get you are 19 years old without even having to do that if you wanted to. But the thing with the bonus of having this and the bonus of having that is what you can do is you can, suppose you want to say you are 19 twice. Whoop. You can go like that, and it says you are 19 twice when you run it. See, you are... Oh, it's asking me to type this in. 19, enter. You are 19 years old. You are 19 years old. You're 19-year-old. Sorry, I should have said that twice. It's just I forgot to delete that, and I'm not going to because I'm lazy. So that's it for this tutorial. Cool fact I'm going to show you now that we're getting into classes, though, is that you can minimize these things. And also, suppose you've got java.util.scanner and import java.util.random. Bet you that's a capital R. Is that you can also minimize these and just have one import, and if you want to see them all, you can get them all. So that's it for this tutorial, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Please subscribe to my channel. Yeah, that's about it.